I welcome you guys back into my course 197, and it's how to stand out. I need you to understand that in order for you to stand out, you need to be somebody today. You have to make sure that no matter what happens, you're a person who has a better attitude than yesterday, and that way you're going to be a person of great success. Because when you have great success in life, you're going to be a person who's doing something today to make sure that you're helping somebody. Because that's how you stand out. You understand? Because when you're doing something, even on the street, and doing a street performance and making sure you're lifting people up in a kind way, I promise you, you'll stand out. You understand? Because guess what? You have the attention, you're a person of great success, you're a person who has the ability to speak on a microphone, and you're speaking into a microphone. You have to understand that you get your communication in a better way, and that way you will stand out. You have to understand that those people who can talk can also walk the talk. You understand? Because those people who are just talking and blabbering all the time, I promise you, they're never living in integrity. I need you to understand that integrity is living your talk. And those people who live their talk are able to stand out. I promise you, it's really about going inside rather than outside. I need you to understand it's about self-discipline. I need you to understand it's about less pleasure in life. And that way you will be more disciplined to be more successful. And you will be making less excuses in life, because it's about gaining more than anybody else. You understand? So in order for you to do that, you have to be able to really grow. You have to understand it's really about growth. You have to understand it's really about making sure that you're succeeding. You're making sure that you're doing something more than the next person, because that way you're going to stand out. You have to understand that those people who understand something about life are the ones who are succeeding far greater than the ones who are doing nothing. And you should understand that when there's noise outside of you, you have to understand you focus on the inside and you do your content anyway. You have to understand it's really about getting your message out there and making sure that you're getting your message out there in a better way. You have to understand that those people who really have something to say are the ones who are standing out much more. You have to understand it's really, let's make sure that we are better people today, and making sure that we have a better attitude, and making sure that no matter what, that you continue work and you finish your work today regardless of what's happening outside. Because no matter what, that is the best way to go. You have to understand it's really that you go and look inside for everything that you ever need, and that way you're a person who has much more pleasure in life, to make sure that you're a person who's always lifting rather than putting people down. Because when you're putting people down, you're never going to stand out that way. You have to understand it's really about being a kinder person and do something today that's really going to help you move forward. I need you to understand it's really about promote yourself 3 hours a day or more in front of a street, and make sure that people can see your Instagram one way or another. You understand that when you have a nice pic for Instagram that has to be shown, you have to make sure that everybody can see it, and that way you'll stand out better. You understand? Because my video today is on how to stand out. So make sure that you're always looking more appropriate, and making sure that you're always looking more classical. Because to be classical is to live in the moment, and those people who are old today are never really modern today. I promise you, they're really people who have got nothing to do. I promise you that no matter what, you guys have to realize that no matter what happens, when something blows away, like your poster, make sure that you put it up so people can see you, and so you have better attention in the process. And you should understand that when you have better attention, you will stand out much more than the crowd. You have to understand you never be part of the crowd, and you never walk with the crowd. You be the one who is the loudest in the crowd that's teaching the most. You understand? And that way you're going to stand out. Because it's really about never being loud. I need you to understand it's really about teaching something that's really going to organize you to realize that you have better communication skills. And that way, when you write it down, you're writing thoughts down, and making sure you're showing up every day. You have to understand it's day 6 for me on the street over here. I realize that once I've done today, I realize no matter what, I'll have 18 hours of content, which is nice and beautiful for me to realize that I'm always learning more, I'm always growing more, I'm never done, I'm always never finishing anything, I'm always making sure that whatever I complete, I do more of it in a different way. And that way you will stand out when you're doing something far greater than you used to. Because when you're focusing on yourself, it's about personal development, and it's never really about focusing on other people. I need you to understand you focus on yourself the most, and you get your message across. You have to understand when you're getting your message across, you're making no excuses, and you're never blaming or criticizing or complaining about your life and where you are, because you'll take ownership today to make sure that you have no more excuses, and you're never complaining, and you're never blaming people for your life, because you are the creator. And when you're creating your life every single day to be better, you're going to be a person who has a better life. So make sure that every single day you're showing up for success, because you deserve success. So make sure that you're always successful every single day in a better way than yesterday. I, every single day for the past year, have been better and better and better and better. I'm always doing something related to my communication skills. I'm making sure that I'm always heard in a better way. I'm always presenting myself in a better way, because it's about a better way, guys. In a sense, to be that kind of guy or woman who understands that we are people and we are all equal. So it's never that the women are better than the men or the men are better than the woman. You have to understand we're both equal and both can do something great. You have to understand it's about greatness today, and that way we can stand out to make sure that we're better people in the process. And each and every time we're better people, I promise you we're going to stand out much greater, because guess what? It's only 1% of the people who can really lead and make sure that you can lead, because when you can lead, you're going to be a person who stands out. You have to understand you have to do something today to make sure that you can really get your message across and stand out in the process. You have to understand it's really about boosting your confidence and also your public speaking skills, and make sure you get up in front of a crowd and do a public speaking speech about what you're passionate about. I promise you, when you do it for free, I promise you that way you will stand out. I promise you no matter what, you get yourself a nice beautiful attention span and you scale your business, you make sure you're planning and organising every single day to make sure that you can stand out better, because it's about planning to stand out better. I promise you each and every time you need to do something in your life, you're planning it and you're making sure that you achieve your goals each and every day, because that's what's going to boost your confidence. I promise you being in front of a crowd and making sure that you're teaching something is going to boost your confidence, and that way you're going to stand out because you have more attention, you're more popular, you're more famous. Although it's never about the fame, I need you to understand it's about inspiration. Are you able to inspire people? I promise you if you're able to inspire somebody, you can be in famous integrity. You understand? I promise you it's about integrity. I promise you it's about being able to lift other people, and you have to understand that those people who lift other people are the ones who are smart ass. You understand? You have to be a smart ass every day. You have to be a person who's developing and also making sure that you are presenting yourself in a better way. I realize that no matter what, when you're in a tunnel, I realize that your poster may blow because the wind outside may blow it. You have to understand you put a blue tack or something like that where it's in the middle where it will never blow. So make sure no matter what, you have plenty of blue tack on your poster so it never falls off, so you never embarrass yourself. Understand? So it's happened to me, although guess what, I'm not embarrassed, I'm still in front of people and I still get the attention, and I get the attention I deserve because I showed up today. You understand? So make sure every day you show up and you're doing something better than yesterday, and that way you're going to stand out, you're going to really talk better, you're going to lift better, you're going to do better. I realize today I really am, for the next 3 months, I'm really pushing it, I'm really making sure that I can succeed more, because guess what, when I push myself, I make sure every day that I'm more disciplined and I have less pleasures in life. I realise I have no pleasure anymore in my life, and that way I'm delaying gratification, and when you delay gratification, you will have more discipline, and it's about discipline as Jesus says so. You have to understand, Jesus was never a person who was drinking alcohol and doing drugs, you understand? So be that type of person who listens to Jesus in that type of manner, you understand? So when you're a person who understands a greater faith in life, you're going to understand there's something greater to do in this life, and it's you in a better fashion, you understand? So you must be a person who's a better fashion today than you were yesterday. You have to realise that is the meaning of life. You have to realise it's really about show yourself and have more gratitude. And gratitude is all about making sure your mindset is in a better place in order for you to do so. You understand? So when you're doing something that's really relative into the moment, or you're doing something that's really going to give people ideas, you're making sure that you're speaking about how to, in some section of your life where you can really develop yourself. I mean, if you have no money, you go teach how to make money. You understand? And that way you make more money. You understand? Because it's about more consciousness, and you have to realize you have to be on the offense about life. You have to realize you have to be on the offense about communication and losing weight and making sure you have muscle and everything, because it's about offense in life. You have to understand it's about taking action. You have to take action and never be on the defense. You understand? Because I promise you, when you're on the defense, you're going to be the person who has the 9-to-5 job and who's working a 9-to-5 job, and then you're going to save that money you're working for, and then guess what? Over time, your finances are really going down, because you'll understand that the currencies today are going into Bitcoin. You understand that the currency, like the Australian dollar, is going down over time, and the bank is stealing your money. You understand? So make sure that you understand that your money is really how much are you growing yourself today, and you realize that you never work for money, you work for growth. And whatever grows you is your best passion. You understand? So make sure you go where the growth is. I need you to understand you go to valuable people who grow you and give you ideas in order for you to grow, because that way you're going to start growing, you're going to start doing something to give ideas, and when you're giving ideas, you're going to be able to give more and more over time, because that way you're going to hold your fame, and you're going to realize you have a legacy, and you're going to realize your integrity, you're going to realize you're honest about what you're doing, and you have more faith when you speak more. You have to understand when you're connecting more, you'll also be able to stand out better, because you're a person who's connecting rather than disconnecting, and that way you're never isolated. Although I do isolate myself to make sure that I'm away from negative people. You have to understand that when I'm away from negative people, I'm always growing from where I am. You have to understand that you be a grower every single day and do something today that's going to help you stand out much better. You have to understand that when you're standing out every single day and you're making sure you're showing up and doing something that's related to your business, you're going to understand that there's always this passion right now where you can improve your mindset right now, and you have to understand that failure is non-existent when you're growing. I mean, you will never fail when you're growing. You have to understand there is no such thing as failure. I promise you the only failure in life is never growing. I promise you when you learn the growth skills and the skills to grow every single day, and you understand life and how to maneuver throughout life, I promise you you're going to fly with the eagles and you're going to be able to go with the wolves. You understand? So never be the sheep in life. You have to understand, you go and make sure that you're setting yourself up for success every single day and making sure that no matter what, you increase your energy and you also increase your time and abilities and skills, which is all writing material that you have to write about everything about your life. I promise you it starts off with your story and it ends off with your story. You have to understand that life is always beginning and the end is right now. You have to understand we're always beginning in life. So make sure you understand that the more you stand out in life, the more successful you be. I promise you the more you stand out, the more attention you have. I promise you the more you stand out, the more eyes on you, and that way you are the person on the pitch scoring goals while the stadium around you is cheering you on. You understand? So be the person on the pitch every single day where everybody's eyes is on you. You understand? And that way you're going to stand out much more. You have to understand that my course is about how to stand out today. You have to understand when you're standing out much more and more, you're going to be a much better person in the process. You have to expose yourself every single day. I promise you, I get my journal out every single day. And what I do is I make sure I write 30,000 characters or 30,000 words every single day about myself, and that way I make sure to expose everything about my life every single day, and that way I understand that you guys can see my full story and I'm exposed, baby. And when I'm exposed, I promise you, I'm in the spotlight. You understand? So it's about never hold back and never hold anything in secrecy, and make sure that you're never secretive about anything. I never need you guilty, because those people who are guilty are secretive, and those people who are shy are secretive also. And you should understand that those people who have anxiety about something are secretive about something. So expose your whole life about what you're anxious about and talk about it more, and you'll be able to be in the spotlight. Understand? You have to expose your life completely in order for you to stand out. Understand? You can never be a person who's secretive in life when you have to be standing out in life. You have to be a successful person who's exposed themselves totally. I need paparazzi around you all the time. Understand? Because you're so successful. Understand? So be that type of person who has a paparazzi around them, because that way you'll stand out and that way you'll be someone more in life. You have to realize that more is integrity, and those people who have more in life are also selfish and compassionate toward themselves and others, and that way you're going to live this self. You understand? Because when you're compassionate, it's called selfless. You understand? So be a person who is selfless also. You understand? Because without selfishness, there is no selflessness, and it's just about growth, guys. So realize when you're growing, you're a person who is really, let's say, more foundational in what you're doing, and what you're doing is growth today. You understand? So make sure you're growing in some aspect of your life today, to make sure that you're always developing in one area of your life every single day. You have to understand, each and every day, I'm always making sure that I have more time and energy to do what I need to do. I make sure that today, I, for example, went to brand myself. I took 1,500 photos of myself, and yesterday I took 1,500 photos of myself, and guess what? I have no excuses, because yesterday I came and done 3 hours of street performance, and today, here again, I've done 3 hours of street performance. You understand? Because that's the goal, and I've achieved it because I'm here today, and I will achieve my goals all the time, because I'm always growing. You understand? I'm always making sure that I show up, and when I say I must go there, I must go there, I must do it, because guess what? That's how powerful you are. I promise you, when somebody can make $1 trillion, I promise you, you can. I promise you that you just have to be better than yesterday, and you've made $1 trillion. You understand? I promise you that it's never about the money. I promise you it's about your personal growth. I promise you it's about your attitude, and the better your attitude, I promise you the better your altitude in life. You have to understand your altitude is the heart of your success, and you have to understand that the higher your success, the better you are. You understand? So it's about peak performance. You have to understand it's about your nutrition, so learn about it. I need you to learn about every aspect of life. I need you to learn about clarity. I need you to learn about motivation. I need you to learn about communication. I need you to learn about how to be in front of the public. I need you to learn about how to gain more attention. I need you to learn how to be more popular. I need you to learn how to be more successful. You understand? So you've got books, and you have authors today who are writing these books because they're more successful to do so. You have to understand that those people are never writing books, are never successful, so never be around those people. You need to be around people who are doing something for nothing. You have to understand, it's really, you make a book and then you sell it for free. I mean, you just go give it out, because the whole point of life is never to make $1 off one person. I need you to go and help that person with what you've given. You understand? Because this nice, beautiful audio podcast right here with a video is worth all the money in the world, you understand? So I'll never price it $100 because it's worth more than $100, you understand? So be a person who understands that your voice is to be heard every single day when you show up for it. I promise you, you need to show up and give your voice every single day into audio and video and take photos of yourself more and more, because I have over 4,000 images inside of my Instagram right now. You understand that I love myself so much because I'm here to inspire, you understand? And those people who never find me inspiring, I don't care about them, you understand? Because I care about inspiring myself every day. I make sure that I grow every single day so that I can inspire you today. I promise you, somebody must be inspired today in order for this world to spin around, you understand? So be a person who understands to just be that side of life where you can inspire somebody every single day. I promise you that's how it'll stand out. You go and read about inspirational people and how did they become inspiring, and it's really about their habits, and it all comes down to habits. You have to understand that those people who have better habits are the ones who are doing better in life. You have to understand that your habits are your destiny, and if you improve your habits, I promise you, you will have a better destiny. You now realize that those people who are really doing much better are the ones who are more successful, so be around those people who are really growing. You have to understand that you just be a person who's always doing something really profound in your life. You're making sure that you're compounding a better way, and the better way is more wisdom. You're always compound interest in wisdom, you understand? So you're making sure that you can vibe better, you're making sure that you can look better, you're making sure that you can do something better to stand out much better than the crowd, because it's about uniqueness, and there's only one of your faces today. So make sure you can do something today to make sure that whatever happens, you're never affected by what's going on in the outside world. You're always looking inside, and you're making sure that you can do something today to make sure that your life is much better than yesterday. And that way you understand that whatever's happening outside is never important, you understand? Because what's inside is the most important, and that way you're going to stand out more when you're focusing on yourself, you understand? So be that person who understands that whatever's distracting you is also your teacher, you understand? So whatever's distracting you or making you angry, you have to learn from that situation, you understand? So make sure it's never distracting you and it's never in your process of anger, you understand? So never be angry, and I promise you, you'll be a person who's standing out greater. And you should understand that those people who make fame and are negative, I promise you soon are going to downfall in their life, you understand? Because those people can never hold the fame. I promise you, the real fame is inspiration, and if you can inspire, you'll always have that fame going. You understand? So be that type of person who understands that when you have a downfall in life, you also have adversity, and when you have adversity, you have to figure out a much better way than what you're doing today. So be that kind of person who understands that whatever's going on is just going to help you to grow. So be that type of person who's always growing anyway, and make sure that no matter what, that you understand that you never ever go where construction is, because that way you understand that somebody else is annoying your video or whatever. You understand? Because guess what? When you're a person who has something to say, you say it in a much better way, and that way you understand that there is always better communication skills, and there's always a better way, and there's no fooling around in life. I promise you, there's no fooling around or having pleasure in life, because that way you'll be a better leader, and you understand that you have to delay gratification in order to stand out. I promise you, I delay all the gratification in the world. You understand? I'm never around fun people, you understand? Because I never need to be fun, I just need to be growing, because that's the funnest of all. You understand? I promise you, the funnest aspect of life is growing and making sure that no matter what, you're doing something appropriate and making sure that you can do something that's much better than yesterday. You have to understand, you be that kind of person who's really foundational in what you're doing and making sure that you're always focusing inside, which is so important today, to make sure you have self-love and self-awareness, which is the same thing. So you understand that when you're growing, you're also never delusional, and delusional is a way where you're saying that everybody's against you and that you're not growing. So make sure you are growing, so you never have to be delusional, and so you never be a person who's hallucinating, which is hearing voices or being a paranoid schizophrenic. You have to understand that I was a paranoid schizophrenic before. I was a person who was on medication for 5 years, and because of that, I overcame it. I overcame the medication, I overcame the mental health institutions. I made sure no matter what to understand that you just keep going, and that way you understand that you have attention, and that's the whole point matter of this video. You have to understand that no matter what, you just understand that those people who have attention are the ones who are standing out, and they're in the spotlight, and that way you understand you need to be one in your life. You understand? You have to be that person in your life who can stand out every single day and also have the attention that you need. You have to understand, you be that person in life who's always doing something that's never annoying, although you understand that you just overcome the situations of the outside matters, and that way you understand that you'll be a better person for it, and you'll do something really that's really helping you to grow, because it's about you and it's about really growing. So make sure that you're that type of person who's always around to grow people and making sure that you're always inspirational and doing something foundational, because there are a lot of stupid idiots around here. You have to understand that you just never be a stupid idiot, because many people will give you a bad attitude, and you never be that one who's giving people a bad attitude, because that way it's a reflection of you and it's not a reflection of other people. You understand? You never copy other people and how they are. You go do something better than them. You understand? I mean, go and make sure that you represent something better. You understand? And that way you're going to understand that whatever's happening is for your best interest. So make sure that no matter what, you get your stuff and you make sure that you go and do something better. You understand? So no matter what, I also make sure that in this process I have something better to do, and that's this video, and that way I understand that I can always grow from it. You have to understand that you be that person who understands that you just go at your pace and you're making sure that you're learning and growing in the process, because it's about attention, and when you have attention, you're growing anyway, because it's about your communication skills and what are you bringing to the table. I mean, when somebody is distracting your positivity in life and making sure that they crunch on you with their technology and they're always going on top of what you're saying, I mean, you have to understand that's the outside world's negativity that are doing it to you. You understand? So make sure you understand that I'm just lifting in this video, although the outside surroundings may be different. You have to understand that it's always different outside than what's inside. You understand? So make sure you're never affected by what's outside, because when you're lifting people and people are distracting you and they're trying to get over your video with technology, you understand that you're positive, although you understand the outside world is negative. You have to understand you never be distracted about lifting people, because guess what? It's never embarrassing when you're lifting. You have to understand you just be a better person and make sure that you never let it happen again. You understand? And that way you're going to be a person who understands to stand out is to be better, and to stand out is to make sure that you're doing something right now, today, to make sure you're always doing a better job in the process. You have to understand that whatever's going on today is making sure that you're a person who can develop yourself in a better way, because about myself, I make sure that no matter what, each and every day I communicate better and develop myself in a better way. I develop myself in a better way to make sure that each and every word is much better than yesterday, so I can do something special for myself that's much greater than yesterday. I promise you, those people who have something to say are going to be able to stand out much greater than those people who are never talking. You understand? I promise you, if you're never talking, I promise you then you have to go into art or anything in terms of painting, and also in terms of something that's introverted, although you understand that you'll never be around people. You have to understand that you go and do something that's worth it. I realize I'm introverted, I'm also extroverted. I'm both at the same time. You understand? So you have to realize to use both aspects of life each and every day, and that way you understand that whatever's happening is for your best interest, because guess what? It's about lifting anyway. You understand? So be that person who's lifting, and you be that person who understands there's always a better way, and that way you're going to understand that whatever you're doing is a much better fashion when you love life much greater. You understand? So be that type of person who's always lifting, and that way you're going to stand out better. You understand? Because nothing in life can affect you, because guess what? You don't care about the outside world. You care about what's inside. You understand? Because what's inside is what matters. And that way you're going to always be self-fulfilled, and you're going to be fulfilled in daily life to make sure that you're always succeeding and making sure that you're doing something amazing every single day. You understand? Because it's about living life in freedom. You understand? You're a free person, you're doing something really great, and that way you're going to understand that when something gets on your nerves, you learn from it, and that way you understand to never do it again. You have to understand that since I do hear a lot of technology going outside of me, you have to understand that I continue my video anyway, because I never let anything distract me, and that way you understand that I'm still growing. And you have to understand, guys, I apologize for the noise outside, because guess what? Some guys or someone is working a 9-to-5 job, and that's what happens when you work a 9-to-5 job. You're very angry, and you're very resentful, and you hate the world, and you've got nothing better to do than to dig grounds. You understand? I mean, they're digging grounds, you understand? You have to be smarter than that. You have to understand, it's not about hard work, guys. I realize it's about smart work. I realize the smartest work on the planet is communication skills. I promise you, those people who can communicate are the ones who are going to make it much better. You understand? So make sure that you can communicate daily, because that way you'll be a smart ass every single day. You understand? You'll be a smart person. You're always doing something really smart every single day. And that way you're going to always make sure that you're more fond of yourself, and you're always much more self-loving. You're doing something in fashion. You're doing a fashion statement every single day. You're doing something that's according to your interest, and that way you're going to have a passion, and that way you're going to be assertive, and that way you're going to be confident, and that way you're going to do something productive. And when you're productive, you're going to understand that you build confidence when you're productive, and that way you're focused, and you're going to lift people when you're at peak. I promise you're going to lift people when you're a peak performer, and you're going to understand there's many ignorant people in life, although just never ignore yourself. And I promise you, you have all the treasures in the world. I promise you that the world is inside, and when you focus on it, you will stand more. in terms of you'll stand out. You understand? So make sure you're standing out in a way that you're always vibing with what you're saying. You understand that no matter what, that I have a nice beautiful gesture here, and the gesture is that I'm always loving myself. I'm never affected by the outside world, because that way I stand out better. You understand? I'm unshakable. I'm making sure I deliver content over here, and I understand that no matter what, that I'm always aware and more aware throughout time, because the whole point of life is longevity. So when you're living a longer life, you understand that you're going to stand out more than those people who are younger than you. You have to understand that you must be younger than everybody. You understand? Because guess what? I'm younger than myself. When I'm younger than myself all the time. You understand? So I'm making sure that I'm always staying in that young phase, because it's never about growing older. I need to understand it's about growing younger over time. And when you're younger, you have your youth back. I need to understand that drugs and alcohol will take your youth away and will take your youngness away. I need to understand you be that type of person who really transpires to inspire every single day, and you aspire to do much better every single day. You understand? Because it's about motivation, and it's about never letting anything get to you every single day. And that way you understand that whatever's happening is for your best interest anyway. Because guess what? I'm still here, I'm still not affected, and that way you understand I showed up today anyway to make sure that my Instagram can be seen, because guess what? I have a lot of content to give, I have a lot of love to give, and I'm inspirational in the process. You understand? So be that person who understands that when people don't find you inspirational, I promise you they're not inspirational. You understand? So make sure that when somebody never says that you're inspirational, I promise you they don't believe they don't believe they are inspirational. So make sure that you understand that you call yourself an inspiration every single day, and that you go and inspire many people in the process. You understand? Because what you do for others is what you do for yourself. So make sure that when you're lifting others, you'll also be lifted. I promise you, when you go and call other people inspirational, you are calling yourself an inspiration. You understand? So make sure that no matter what, there are many people who are going to kick you down, although you go and lift them up anyway, and that way you're going to be a better leader, and you're going to learn much greater than those people who never lift you up. So be around those people who lift you up, and that way you'll stand up, and you'll stand out better. You understand? So it's all about really growing and making sure your skills are in a better way, much better than yesterday. You understand? Because those people who understand growth are the ones who are going to grow much better than yesterday, and making sure that you understand that growth is skills. And those people who have skills are the ones who are learning more skills in the process. You have to understand it's about learning and growing those skills that you have to make sure that you balance out your life in a better way. And when you do that, you'll be more successful, and you'll stand out in the process much greater. And you'll also advertise yourself in a better way. You also do it in a free way. You'll do it in the tunnel, for example. I'm here in the tunnel where it's Brisbane. I'm in Brisbane at the moment, so you'll understand that I have many people every single day come to see my free Instagram, and guess what? It's a beautiful, nice, beautiful promotional technique where you can go and promote yourself each and every day. And you have to understand that when you're a person always promoting yourself, you will also stand out much better. Understand? So be that person who understands marketing and go and do it for free rather than giving money for it. You understand? So make sure that you understand that when you're working for money and you're advertising yourself with money, you're never going to win. You have to understand it's only the free way that you win. You understand? You win in the free way because everything else is a scam when you're getting money for it. You have to understand everything in life is for free. You understand? You can walk a free life, you can travel the world for free when you're doing work for free. You understand? So make sure you're doing something today passionate. I realize you make sure you're doing something today that's passionate, and you understand that each and every word that you skip a beat or something like that, you make sure that you go repeat it, and you repeat the words that you're supposed to say before that word, and that way you understand your communication skills will get better along the way. You have to understand that those people who understand communication skills are also communicating more on video and audio and also writing material. You have to understand it's really about making sure that your mindset is in a better place and making sure that your mindset is everything. You understand? So make sure you're a person growing every single day, and that way you stand out better. You have to understand that those people who understand something every single day are the ones who are never causing friction in the world. I promise you they're the ones who are going against the grain in a better way and making sure they're never following the crowd. Because when you follow the crowd, you never stand out. I promise you, you'll never stand out with the crowd. I promise you, you'll be like invisible and nobody will even see you when you're a person who's walking with the crowd. So be a person who's never walking with the crowd, and that way you'll be a person standing out much more, and that way you will also live life much greater. I promise you that if something annoys you or makes you angry, I promise you it's because you need to outgrow it, and you have to understand that no matter what, that you're not perfect, although make sure you're doing your content anyway, and that way you understand that you guys can hear me anyway. I'll make sure that I can go and listen to this video again because I hear noise outside of me, and that way I understand it's really about the inner stillness, and it's never about what's going on outside. I realize that I have to learn anyway about everything going on. You have to understand it's really about how can you give more wisdom today, and how can you really succeed in a way to make sure that when people are laughing at you, I promise you they're laughing at themselves. I promise you I've got nothing to laugh about, because guess what? I'm only laughing with myself, and that's it. You understand? So make sure that when you're laughing with people and never against them. You understand? Because when you're laughing at people, you're a bully. I never need you to be a bully. I need you to be something better than a bully. I need you to realize that a bully will never get you anywhere. I need you to understand that people who understand that you need to really realize, when people understand that you need to do better, you have to understand that you need to understand that the most, and that way you understand you go and do something far greater than everybody else, and that way you'll be unique, and you go your own direction, you're doing something far greater than everybody else, and that way you're going to be more worth it, you're going to have more self-worthiness, you're going to do something far greater than everybody else, and that way you're going to have more opinions of yourself that are much greater than yourself, you understand? And that way you understand that opinion is a thought form, and I promise you, a thought form is a parable. And those people who connect parables together each and every day are connecting the dots, and when you do that, you'll get more confident. So be that type of person who has more parables in life, and that way you understand more confidence and abilities, and also vocabulary skills, which also is synonyms and antonyms and abbreviations, and also grammar skills and anything to do with literature. And financial literacy is also poetry, you understand? So make sure you're learning about everything in terms of literacy and being literate, and making sure you can divine every single word, and that you also be more divine every single day, because you are a spiritual being living in a human body, in a sense. So make sure that you embody yourself every single day, and making sure you're enjoying the process of your life, because life is a journey and life is long. You have to go long in life, you have to see long, you have to do long, you have to do much better than yesterday, because it's about being free. I need you to understand it's about being in freedom. So be that type of person who can stand for freedom all the time. I need you to be a freedom fighter all your life. I mean, when you look ahead, you have to look at freedom. You understand? You have to look at freedom. Is freedom ahead of you? You have to understand what's blocking your path. You have to understand you go the freedom road. You understand? And that way you will stand out better. You understand? You have to be free. I promise you, when you're free, you will also gain more eyes. You'll have more attention on you. You have to understand, when people are laughing at you because you're public speaking, I promise you those people will never do that. You understand? So be that person who's always got the attention, because guess what? That way you're going to love yourself, you're going to do something amazing, you're going to be an incredible person, and you're going to do something incredible every single day, because it's never about pleasure and pleasure seeking. I need you to really delay gratification and never go the way of gratification. I need you to understand, in my first book, The Ultimate Road to Success, I explain for you to stay away from drugs and caffeine, and also porn and masturbation, because that is never going to help you. I need you to be sober also. I need you to overcome your ego. You have to understand that is the whole point of life. You have to understand it's all about communication. I need you to understand it's about freedom. How you doing, boss? I need you to understand, no matter what, you be that kind of person who understands that when you promote others, you promote yourself freely every single day. You're a person, each and every single day you're doing better than yesterday, and you're minding your own business, because when other people mind your business, you've inspired them in some kind of way. So make sure, no matter what, you're that type of person who is always doing your work, and you're doing your work for the next 73 years, because guess what? You plan to live until 100 and beyond. Understand? So be that type of person who goes and every single day is always doing something special for yourself to make sure you're growing, because it's about your growth today. What are you doing today to make sure you grow? And to understand that for me, this means I have to be in front of a crowd and do some street performance in order for myself to grow, because for myself to grow, I have to be in front of people and communicate every single day, so I can realize that I can get more mature, and also make sure that I can strengthen my ability, which is my mindset, to make sure I can discipline myself more to communicate more, so I can realize that each and every time I communicate in a different way, I can make sure I can grow myself in wisdom and give you some new ideas in the process to motivate you and encourage you and inspire you, and make sure that you are motivated every single day to do better and better and better, and that way you'll understand abundance, and you understand richness, and you understand what public speaking is. So be a public speaker today, and that way you inspire people like I am today. You have to understand, you be that type of person who understands that public speaking is going to get you further than anything ever will. You have to understand the best sport in life is communication, and when you build, I promise you, when you better your communication, you will make it more in your life. I promise you, you will live longer. I promise you, you'll do better. I promise you, you have more health. I promise you, you'll do everything when you have better communication. I promise you, better communication skills means more action. I need you to take more massive action to write more about yourself every single day. I need you to write 30,000 words about yourself every single day, as I suggested in previous videos, and that way you understand that each and every time you write more and more and more about yourself, and you write more chapters about yourself, and more words about yourself, and more of everything about yourself, you understand that you're going to love yourself more. And that's the key to life. I need you to understand the key to life is love yourself more, and that's also to write more about yourself. You understand? I mean, when you're writing about yourself, you're also doing yourself in a video in a way that you're inspiring people, and you're also doing audio podcasts, and you're doing writing. You understand? It's really easy to write. I started doing 500 words a day. I do 30,000 words a day now. You understand? So make sure you're doing something today. Do make sure that you're inspiring people in a different manner every single day, and that way you're going to do something every single day much differently, and that way you're going to grow, because it's about change approach, as Tony Robbins says. I need you to understand, you need to change your approach all the time. You need to change what you're doing every single day so you can have a better schedule and so you can do something new every single day, because guess what? When the world is not giving you anything, you have to realize that you never take anything in the first place, and you realize that you're never entitled to anything from the outside world. You're going to give the outside world what they need. In a sense, so as Zig Ziglar said, you give people what they want and you'll get ultimately what you want. In a sense, so make sure you're always increasing your fund capacity, which is your potential and capabilities and abilities and talents, to make sure that you can go and do the Australian Idol or do the talents, Australia's Got Talent, and make sure you're going doing something, you're going to do something, and you're doing something that's incredible. In a sense, so make sure you go do it for free. I realize I can go and sit on the Australia's Got Talent, and I can do this all day. Instead, I can do this all day in front of a crowd, because guess what? I'll take myself and they can watch me. Instead, I'll do the same thing in Australia's Got Talent like I'm doing here. I promise you that it's going to be the best night of their life. In a sense, so be sure that no matter what, that you never be sure, or that you're making sure every single day that you're doing something incredible. You understand? You're making sure you're in front of a crowd, you're promoting yourself, you're auditioning for something that's really going to help you be on TV or something like that, and that way you're going to be a pop star or a singer or a public speaker or a sports addict or whatever you need to be. You make sure that your fitness in grace, you understand? You be a fitness freak, you be a health freak, you be a person who's a word freak like me. I love words. I love to explain words. I love to convince people to do better. You understand? I'm that kind of person. I love words every single day. You understand? I read. I always read, because that's my fuel. I realize that wisdom and petrol, and for example, petrol and wisdom and all these ideas that I get is what fuels me and gives me my passion to make sure that I can go and apply it and become a better person in the process. And that way, when I become better and do something better every single day, I'm always making sure I promote myself in a different manner every single day, because I'm worth it. I'm always worth it. How you doing? Thank you very much. How you guys doing? I say shout out to this guy. What's your name?
Dom Hill.
I have Dom Hill over here. What's your Instagram?
How are you gonna look?
I'll say over here. I'll promote your Instagram. I have Roscoe Hill. ROSXO Hill for HILL. You got Roscoe Hill. I'll see you soon, bro. Thank you very much. Alright, no matter what, you guys just make sure that you're always promoting somebody else. Make sure you go check out Roscoe Hill, because guess what? That way you understand that when you're promoting others, you're showing people around. I promise you, you'll also be promoted, and that way you understand that it's about connection anyway. Make sure you're inspiring, make sure you're growing. I promise you, when you're growing, you're going to do something special, you're going to do something with people, and that way you're going to lift them only, and that's the only best way you can be with people, because otherwise you're going to kick them down. It's either, I promise you, it's either you're kicking people down or lifting them up. I need you to lift them up, please. I need you to understand it's really to be an inspiration every single day and do something productive every single day. I promise you now, around the coronavirus, I'm lifting people up. You understand? I'm lifting people up. I brought Toastmasters, I promise you, I brought Toastmasters International over here, which is a nice, beautiful public speaking gig every single day of my life, which is over the next 73 years. I'll be doing 3 hours of public speaking gigs on the street. In a sense, so you have to understand that's what it takes to succeed. And I repeated myself in some manner over here. You have to understand that each and every time you repeat yourself in the same manner, you're not learning anything. So realize that a few seconds you could have done something new about that. So realize that you go and keep doing something new each and every time. You look for a new way to say something in a newer way, a newer fashion that you've never said it before, because that's the whole point of being alive. I promise you, it's always make sure you go somewhere new where you've never been, and you go and make sure that you do something you've never done, and make sure you push through your fears, and make sure that you overcome them, and you're overcoming your mind, you're overcoming your body, and you're overcoming your words and who you are every single day. I promise you it's worth it. I promise you it's worth to understand that when you promote yourself daily, you're going to be more worth it each and every day. So make sure that each and every day you're conditioning your mindset in a way that you're better. You understand? You're better, you're more unlimited, you're making sure that nobody gets to you, and that way you understand that you need to detach anyway, as Dr. Wayne Dyer says, because detaching means that you never let anything shake you or disrupt your growth. Because when you're attaching too much, you're attaching to pleasures. Because people are never pleasure. You have to understand, it's really that you go and grow, because that's the best pleasure in the world. And you should understand Jesus Christ and how Jesus Christ really walks life. You have to understand that he just grows. I mean, I promise you, he never fools around. I promise you, he never has fun. You have to understand, it's really that he goes and teaches people, and that's what God needs you to do. You have to understand that something greater in you needs to grow much more today. You have to understand that Jesus only grew today. You have to understand that you go and preach Jesus' name, because guess what? When you share an inspiration around, you understand that you need to be interested, and those people who are against Jesus are against everything in life. You have to understand, you never be against anything in life. You have to understand, you go and do what's greater only. You understand? You make sure that you're just standing for something greater. I promise you, that way you understand that whatever you are today is the sum thoughts of who you have listened to. You understand? You've listened to so many people today, and guess what? Only 1% of them have led you to some greatness. You understand? So make sure you're going to the 1% of people who have a lot of great information, because those people are going to lift you and inspire you. You have to understand that you go and grace Jesus and also people who are inspiring you every single day. I need you to understand that when you understand Jesus Christ and you understand His habits, you understand life also. You have to understand, you be a person who's always inspiring. You never be scared. You make sure that when you're fearing, you understand it's never you fearing. You have to understand it's really your ego. You have to understand you need to break your ego. You have to be on top of your ego, and the only way you can do that is to write more. You have to be more aware. You have to be more aware of what you're doing. You have to understand that performance is everything when you're doing peak performance. You have to read those books every single day. You have to understand that it's really about peak performance every day. So really realize that when you're looking better and you're feeling better and you're doing better and you're communicating better and you're walking better and you're doing everything in speed and fashion, and you've got the newest fashion material every single day in terms of wisdom, you understand to be lifting people all the time. Because that way you're going to be a public speaker, you're going to be doing something great, you're going to be doing it in front of people, and you're going to get the attention that you deserve because you showed up today, and that's how you stand out. You understand? Because today is my day 6, and once I finish this one, you have to realize that no matter what, each and every day I do 3 hours of content, and guess what? It's going to be 18 hours on the street, which is 18 hours in front of people, and guess what? That's really growth, you understand? I mean, that's communication. To be 18 hours in front of people and speaking for 18 hours in 6 days, I promise you that is communication skills, and that is growth right there. I promise you you're going to grow from it, and you're going to learn faster than those people who never get on the street and do it. You understand? Because I promote myself every single day. I get tens of thousands of people every single day promoting myself. You understand? So make sure that no matter what, you are a person who understands that. I get tens of thousands of people promoting me all the time because I'm consistent throughout time. You understand? Because it's really what you're doing today and what you're going to do today over time. You understand? Because over time is a long term. And when you're doing this every single day for 3 hours, for the next 73 years, I promise you, you will be somebody. You understand? So make sure that you look at the long term, because today it may just be 3 hours. Although when you're doing it for the next 73 years, I promise you that people will recognize you when you're doing this over the next 73 years every single day. You understand? You do it for 3 hours every day, I promise you it's worth it. You understand? You're going to do something today that's really going to improve you, and that's going to make you really conscious, because consciousness is ability, and those people who have more consciousness have more self-awareness and also self-love. And you should understand that when you have more consciousness, you will stand out. You understand? So make sure you go and boost your meditation every single day, which is your schedule and which is your habits. I promise you, you need to better your habits. You need to stay away from the drugs. You understand? Because the drugs will never make you more conscious. You understand? I promise you information will. I promise you better people will. I promise you those people who are aware more and doing better and making sure that they are really lifting people are the ones who are going to inspire you every day, because they're lifting in the process of lifting you. I'm always lifting myself in the process of communicating right now. You have to understand, I'm always lifting myself. I'm making sure I lift myself, and those people who are interested in being lifted can always go and check out my Instagram. You have to understand, you be a person who's always lifting, and that way you inspire, and that way you'll be lifted. You understand? You be lifted, you be a given, and you understand that being a given and a surplus in life is going to mean that you're a better person than yesterday, and that way you're going to understand that you will stand out, because eventually, the better you are, I promise you, the better your life. You understand? So your thoughts change your life. So make sure no matter what, you have better thoughts today, and that way you understand to be around better people, and to make sure that you go and do something today on video that's going to help inspire you. I'm so motivated today because guess what? I get to show up every single day on the street to make sure I'm in front of people promoting my Instagram over the next 73 years, because guess what? It's worth it. You understand? You have to go and do something today that's going to help you to grow. So make sure you go and be in front of people to do it, and that way you're going to do something really amazing. You understand? Because guess what? When I invested $100 for this speaker, guess what? I did it for something greater, because guess what? I get to be on the street, I get to be communicating on the street, I get to be promoting my Instagram, and people can hear my thoughts, and my thoughts are never my thoughts. I realize that each and every thought you have is somebody else's, and make sure that you have better ones in the process. You have to understand, it's really about staying away from most attitudes, and you stay away from most of life, because most of life is negative, and you have to understand that where the 1% of the world goes is where you must go. You must go where the crowd never goes. You have to understand, it's really that, for example, with my scenario here, I do a street performance because most of the crowd never does this, you understand? So I have to go and do it because most of the crowd will never do it. And I'm never part of the crowd, you understand? So make sure that you go understand how I am today, and make sure that you go do something similar, and that way you understand that you're growing in the process. When you're in front of people and speaking and communicating, you'll stand out because you get so much attention, you understand? So that's my course today on how to stand out. You have to understand, you be a person who's really more foundational, you be a person who's really got something to say, and that way people will listen when you become somebody in your field. You have to understand, I'm a knowledge broker, I'm like a Tony Robbins, I'm just better. You understand? I'm just better than everybody. You understand? I'm better because I consider myself better. You understand? You need to be that type of person who considers yourself better than everybody. You understand? You have to be the best in your world. You understand? I'm the best in my world, and that's it. I'm better than yesterday, and nobody else can fool me around. You understand? Because I never get fooled around. I never go with people who fool around. You understand? Because I'm never a muck around. I'm never a person who runs amok. You understand? I'm never a person who just fools around and has fun. You understand? I'm a person who just grows, because that's all my fun in life. My fun is making myself more successful, and that's it. Understand? I promise you, when I get to travel the world, you go have fun and I promise you go have fun and have fun and have fun. Because guess what? When I'll be traveling the world, you'll be in Sydney all your life. You understand? Because I'll be traveling the world because I'm more successful. I promise you, that's more fun than being in one area and having sex with a lot of people. You understand? Because guess what? That's never interesting for me. I promise you, what's interesting is traveling the world and having one partner and making sure you get married and stuff like that. And then you understand what true life is. You understand? Because you're financially free, you can travel everywhere, you got your career, and that's the most important. I promise you, the most important part of your life is what you're doing today to better yourself. Understand? Because that's how you succeed. You succeed through better question taking, in terms of making sure that you're asking yourself more better questions. You understand? Because when you're asking yourself better questions, you'll learn to stand out better. You have to understand that in order for me to do so, I have to make sure each and every single day I show up and 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 I show up, because I'm motivated. I have a dream. You understand? Because guess what? When you have a dream also, you will complete it every single day, and you make sure no matter what, you have a better dream every single day. You have to understand, your better dream must be better than yesterday, and it must be something of a vision that's going to say, I'm better than yesterday today. How about you? Understand? Because nobody can fool you around and nobody can scam you around, and you have to realize that when nobody can scam you around, you've taken control and you've grabbed life by the throat and you've lifted it. You have to understand, you never cause violence, and that way you will stand out. You have to understand, you'll be a person who understands that what you're doing today is your walking life. I'm rich or better. You have to understand, when I say I'm rich or better, I'm a person who's really lifting myself in the process, because I'm better than what I say. You have to understand, you never label yourself. You make sure you never label anything in life, and that way you grow and grow. You have to understand, you have to make sure you're open-minded. You have to make sure you're curious about life. You have to make sure that each and every day you're modeling. You have to understand that you take your shirt off and you be happier with how you look. You understand? You be happier. You understand? You make sure that no matter what, you do something about it. You make sure you're doing something today to make sure you look better, you feel better. You understand? I promise you, when you feel better, it's about nutrition in terms of what's going into your body. You have to understand, it's also information. You have to understand that diet is the number one killer, and diet is also the number one way to live a longer life. So make sure you are a person who is studying diet every single day. I mean, study better information and better ways of eating, and also better ways of doing everything. I promise you, where there's a will, I promise you there's a way. You understand? So make sure that you're always doing something incredible today. I promise you, you are never blind for how you are. You have to understand, you have feelings, and feelings is everything. You have to understand, you use your feelings every single day, and that way you'll never be blind. Understand? Because those people who use feelings are also the people who are going to discipline themselves much greater, and are the ones who are going to listen much greater. You have to understand, when you listen to information, you listen to it wholeheartedly. You use the Tai Chi, you move your emotions around, and you make sure that no matter what, that nobody is scamming you or fooling around with you, because guess what? You're a serious person who's growing, and you have to take yourself seriously, because otherwise nobody else will take you seriously. You understand? So be that person who's never always a fun person, because when you're a fun person, you are always in the gratification process, and I never need you to have gratification. I need you to delay gratification, and that way you'll grow more, and that's the funnest of all. I need you to understand, it's really about growing yourself, and it's never about gratification or any pleasures in life. I never need you to have pleasures. I never need you to go and live for the weekends and have the wine and the white wine. You understand? I never need you to go around a casino, because there's nothing over there. You understand? I need you to understand, it's really about what's happening inside rather than outside. I never tune into the Twitter and see the trends. I never look at the news or the radio, because I'm tuned out of the negativity. I'm making sure I always tune myself into a better way. I'm always positive. I'm always making sure that I'm doing something incredible, making sure that I live a better way, I'm making sure that I'm always doing something with ideas, I'm making sure that I'm always doing something positive, and that way I'm always a better person for it. I'm always a better person because I make sure to grow myself each and every day in a different way, and it's a slow process, although you understand it's a better process when you're doing it alone. I'm much better, and that way you understand that you never have resentment and you forgive everyone, and when people have resentment for you and they don't forgive you, you have to understand you walk away and you let them come back when they forgive you, you understand? Because your door must be open and you leave it open for those people who are resenting you, and guess what, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for something greater. And that way, when they come back, your door's open, you understand? And that way you understand you're welcoming person in and out, you understand? So make sure no matter what, that you only go inside, you're always living a spiritual life, you're making sure that you're a person who has all the ideas, because when you have all the ideas, you're going to learn more anyway, you understand? You're going to make sure you're going to learn more, you're going to understand that you never limit yourself, you understand? Because when you say you know or something, you have to understand you never know anything. You have to understand that the true capacity of public speaking is never say that you know something. You never say you know, you understand? Because that way you understand that you will grow and you don't know. You understand? You never know anything. I never know anything because I'm still growing. I'm still making sure that I'm doing something productive. I'm still making sure that I'm always a better person than yesterday. I promise you that's how to stand out every single day. You stand out by making sure that you never know it all. I promise you stand out by being away from the crowd, and that way you'll be the 1% of them who are really flying with the eagles and going with the wolves. You understand? So be that type of person who understands that you need to do something today that's passionate for your life in something greater. You understand? You're doing it for something greater, you do it for free. I see that you may love art, you may love music, you go do it for free, you play on the street, whatever. You understand that whatever means do it now. You understand that you never say whatever alone. You have to understand that you be a person who's always more conscious of your words, and that way you understand that you need to take more action every single day to make sure that you're a better person than yesterday. Because when you're a better person, you understand that those people are increasing their skills. I promise you each and every single one of your life has a skill, and you have to go and increase those skills each and every day, because you don't know anything, I don't know anything. You have to understand it's really about making sure we leave room for improvement every single day, because when you have no room for improvement, I promise you, when you have no room for improvement, you are a know-all, you understand? So never be one of those people, otherwise you'll be middle class for your whole life. You have to understand that middle class means poor, you understand? I promise you, the new rich is you're never middle class nor poor, you understand? I promise you, I need you to be a better person anyway. I need you to realize that it's just the increase your skills, because that's what you need every single day. You need to increase your skills in one area of your life every single day, and that way you'll be better than yesterday. You have to understand that skills means have more knowledge, and the more knowledge you have is to increase your skills. You understand? You need to read more, you need to educate you more, you need to educate yourself more. You need to realize that it's really about self-education, and self-education is key. You have to understand that no matter what, you be that type of person who understands that life is to be lived now. So you live life now, and you make sure that you have no pleasures in life, and that way you look inside and you make sure that you're respecting your temple. You respect your temple every single day. You're doing something quite passionate in terms of you're doing it in a fashionism way, and in terms of fashion, and you're making sure that you're passionate about it, and you're making sure that you're promoting yourself in and out, because it's really about inside. And when you're focusing on inside, you'll be more spiritual, and you'll be a person who has something to give. You understand? You're never a know-it-all, you're never knowing anything in life. You're just making sure that each and every sentence that you give is better than the next sentence. You use a word from your communication and you elaborate on it in a different way that you've never done before, and that way you understand that communication skills means this moment, and when you're doing that, you understand that those people who understand communication skills are the ones who are really going to grow, and when you're growing, you're always doing it in a different fashion possible, because when you're doing it in a different fashion, you understand that your possibility of making it in life is always right now. So make sure you're doing it now, you understand, because you can do it, you can really succeed right now, and you just have to will yourself every single day. You have to do something every single day to make yourself much more willing to succeed, much greater. You understand? It's really, let's make sure that we're looking through our words and making sure that we're looking and reading between the lines so we can speak better, and so that we can do better, and so that we make sure that no matter what, you're always a smart ass. You're always making sure that you're doing something that's really foundational. I promise you that smart ass means that you must learn the dictionary every single day. I promise you do that. I promise you it's your new Bible. I promise you it's something that's really going to help you. I promise you it's something that's really going to help you succeed much greater, because those people who understand the Bible are the ones who are succeeding today much more than the rest who have no vocabulary. Because when you have no vocabulary, you are stupid. You understand? So make sure you never have a small mind. You have to understand you have a big mind. You understand? You never kill your brain cells Because when you have a person next to you or you who is killing your brain cells, I promise you that means you're never reading and you're around negativity and you're putting on the radio and then also playing you the music that's popular from the crowd. And you have to understand, you got to pick out your music. You got to pick out the TV shows that you need. You got to pick out the places that you need to go, and never because of your friends. Because your friends are fake friends. I promise you. Your friends are never going to be around you when you're more successful. You have to understand that you go and be more successful anyway, and you make them jealous because guess what? They're going to be jealous of you the more successful you are in life. So make sure that when you understand that when you're traveling throughout life, I promise you they'll never follow you. I promise you the crowd will never follow you. You'll be a person who's just going in your journey, you're going inside, because your journey is inside and it's never outside. Understand? When you're going inside, you'll never be without. I promise you when you're going outside, you have less in life. I never need you to have less. I need you to understand that outside world never matters. I promise you what matters is inside. I promise you when you have inside-ness in life, you understand spirituality. You have to understand that spirituality is inside and never outside. You have to understand it's really go to yourself for everything. You understand? I mean, make sure you're looking at yourself, you're doing it for yourself, it's something greater. You're making sure that each and every day you're a person who's completing a certain task or goal, which is, for example, this. I promise you, I every day have to do 3 hours of content, although that's one vision that's going to make me better than yesterday. So I make sure that 3 hours of 3 topics is going to make 1 hour on each topic, and you have to understand that no matter what, I do 3 hours of content every day. I promise you that's one goal. Although the small goals in between is I have to do 3 topics that are 1 hour each. You understand? Because to make 3 hours is one goal, although you understand the collective goals in between that. Understand that you go and do something special today to make sure that you're achieving your small goals, because I'm just focusing on this video right now, and that way I can focus on the next one once I finish this one. And once I finish this one, I've helped someone even more with some ideas, and I'm helping myself even more. You have to understand? Because I'm here applying the information, and the more you apply the information, the better you are. So be that person who is better than you are. You understand? So be that kind of person who's always better than what you're doing. I promise you that's mindset. I promise you that's called peak performance. I promise you it's called brilliance. I promise you it's called excellence. You have to be excellence in executing your life in a better way. Understand? So be a person who's always executing a better way, and that way you understand a better way. Understand? Because those people understand a better way are the ones who are really doing something about it. So be that type of person who's doing something about it every single day. You understand that you'll stand out better. You have to realize to stand out, you have to look at long term. You have to see long term. You never think long term, you never think short term. I promise you short term today is what you're going to eat today. Understand? Although you understand that when you see long term, it's what foods or what 10 foods can I eat for the next 73 years only. I promise you that's called long term scenario. Understand? So you're a person who understands what you're eating for the next 73 years rather than just today. Understand? I promise you, although I'm a person who has about 20 foods today that I can eat on any daily basis for the next 73 years. You understand? Because I've already summoned the knowledge that I need, although I'm always learning in the process. I'm learning what new information is about nutrition. In a sense, so make sure you're always a person who's understanding more nutrition and knowledge around you, because guess what? It's about helping much more, and that way you'll be lifted when you help more, because helping is compassionate, and when you're a compassionate person, you'll be kinder, and it's called compassionism. So be that kind of person. Understand? And that way you understand to really live life in a better process. You'll be a better process in the process of becoming better, and that way you understand that you go and recap your video when you need to. You have to understand it's really finish the 1 hour and that's it. You understand? And that way you're going to continue on and you're going to move into a better subject, which is your next one or whatever you're doing in terms of the moment. You have to understand that the next moment is this moment, so just focus on this moment, and the next moment shall pass. You understand? I promise you, this moment shall pass. You understand? I'll never be on the street all my life, although I said already I will. You understand? I'll be on the street all my life, because guess what? When the economic recession hits outside of me, I'll always be doing this on the street. You understand? Because I'll be in front of people anyway. And that way, I understand I'll be popular anyway. And guess what? Over the next 73 years, I'll do this every single day. I promise you I'll be popular. Understand? So be a person who's popular, although you're understanding that you must inspire first. You understand? Because it's about inspirational people. Understand? And if you're not inspiring today, I promise you need to make it more inspiring for yourself to make sure that you can live life much more. Because those people who commit suicide early are the ones who are never inspired. I need you to realize that those people who die early are the ones who are never inspired by life. So make sure you're inspiring yourself and never draining yourself with alcohol and drugs, because that's never going to help you. I've been there, I've done that. I realize that it's never the way to go. I realize the nightclubs and the pubs and the bars is never the way to go. I understand that when you turn 100 years of age, you're never going to be in the pub. You understand? I need you to go do better. I need you to understand that you go look long term and look and ask Jesus what Jesus will do today. You understand? I need you to understand to go and use Jesus as your fountain and your ladder in life. I need you to understand that person is your compass. I need you to understand that person can lead you into a better life. I need you to understand it's called delayed gratification. I need you to understand you go and be kinder in the process. I need you to just realize to be delaying gratification and be kinder. I promise you that's the way of Jesus. I promise you that is life. I promise you that is being compassionate. I promise you that's being something greater. I need you to understand that those two words alone, which is be kinder and make sure that you're a person who's delaying gratification, I promise you that's all the success you need. You understand? I promise you that's everything in life. I promise you those people who can do that every single day are the ones who are going to succeed every single day and do something every day to be foundational in their life. So make sure no matter what that you understand that when you delay gratification and you be kinder today, I promise you that's how to stand out. I promise you that's the best way in life. I promise you that's how you do life much greater. You have to understand it's really make sure you're fasting, also making sure you're using your energy every single day in a better way. You have to understand that it's never about eating a full plate of food. I need you to eat 8 meals a day or something small first, you understand? Because that way you don't have energy that's long lasting throughout the day. You have to understand it's never about one big dinner every single day. You have to understand it's about 10 dinners every single day that's small. You have to have a small amount of food each and every day. I only eat a small amount of food. I eat 7 times a day. You understand? I eat so small. You understand? Because that gives me energy. You understand? I realize no matter what, I'm a person who gets supported by the crowd around me because guess what? I'm in attention. I'm doing something uplifting. I'm doing something that's really great. And that way you need to do something great each and every day. Understand? So be that kind of person who understands to be in attention and be the attention seeker. Understand? I promise you when you woke up in this world, you started to be around your parents and you always needed their attention. You always needed attention. So be the person right now, which is a baby, and that baby that you are and that you're born with in life, you have to understand you need to maintain that because that baby, when you came into life, you're a baby. You have to be a baby all your life. You have to understand you have to be in that nice threshold where I'm still in that threshold right now and you have to be there also. You have to understand it's really about never get jealous and never judge me for what I say because that way you'll be a baby. You have to understand the baby will never judge you about how you are, you understand? So make sure you see that a baby will always love you for how you are and make sure that you go love people for how they are, although make sure that you're lifting them in the process, you understand? I need you to lift them, I need you to realize that it's about lifting people and that way you can love them for how they are. You have to understand that when you're lifting people, it's really that you're lifting yourself and realize that no matter what, that you're never waiting for anybody, you're never a person who is waiting for them to pick up so that you can go and pick up your skills. You have to understand you go and grow first and make sure that they follow you in growth. You understand? I realize you're never waiting for anything, you're never stopping so they can grow. You just never stop in life, you just keep going and that way you understand that when you see traffic lights, you see the go lights and make sure that no matter what, as Zig Ziglar said that, you understand that when you see traffic lights, for example, I mean, it's never called stop lights, you understand? I mean, it's called the go lights. I mean, just keep going and make sure no matter what, they're a person who always realizes that no means next opportunity. So make sure that when you get a no or you get rejected, you understand that it's really about next opportunity. And that means never get rejected in the first place and stay away from people who reject you. Understand? I never need you around those people because those people never love you. I never need you around people who never inspire you either. I need you to realize that those people who never call you inspirational, I never need you around them either. I realize that those people who never message you today, I never need you around them either. I need you to realize that those people who never follow you while you travel, I never need you around them ever again. I need you to move away from the past. I need you to go into a new aspect of life, and that's how to stand out. I need you to realize that the newest way is the best way. I need you to go and do something that's modern today, and that way you will stand out today, and you'll be an inspiration each and every day of your life. I need you to realize, guys, that no matter what, I have my next 2 topics over here. You guys have my Instagram over here. I realize no matter what, that I'm an inspiration. Although those people that never find me inspiration will never be an inspiration. I'll see you guys in the next video.